because we know that is a very important mission, Turning Point USA. They want to grow these chapters, and a lot of prayers have been said right there where you are. Thank you. I want to bring in our next guest to talk about Charlie Kirk. He met him when he was 11 years old and just in the 4th grade. Big inspiration in his life, political commentator, a best-selling author, and now the host of the Brilyn Hollyhand show. Brilyn, it's been a moment. It's great to see you. I know that Charlie influenced your life as a young man and as a child, really. Talk to us about how you're feeling now, 1 week since his assassination and days away from this very big memorial service.
Bianca, my friend Charlie was a walking, talking beacon of hope. He was by far the greatest political operative of our time, and a lot of tributes have been paid to that. But what I think is really cool is all of the personal testimonies about my friend's character, the stories of how he helped so many young people get their start. He was genuinely a mentor and a friend, and you said it right there at the top. In the 4th grade, I was 11 years old and I started a podcast, and I wanted to have these guests, but local city council members, mayors, nobody would even come on my podcast. So I DM'd Charlie Kirk. He happened to be coming through town to speak on a college campus, and for some reason, Charlie responded. He didn't have to come on the podcast. He was on TV every other hour, but he gave me that time.
That's incredible. It's been really hard to see that his loss has affected now just sort of the culture with some really gross people celebrating. But then there's also, so the evil's being exposed. He's a man of faith. And then you see the prayers. There were rosaries being said last night. I mean, his legacy is enduring. His legacy is about, listening, free speech, debate. We learned yesterday that, though, Turning Point USA was the target of Jack Smith. Not surprising, but really kind of points to what was happening in our political arena then, and maybe your hopes right now, if you can share with us with what you hope happens now.
Yeah, Bianca, do you hear that noise sweeping across the country? That is the sound of my generation taking off the shackles of the left that we've been a monopoly of the DNC for so long, and we're actually seeing a revival sweep across this nation. Not just political, not just cultural, but spiritual. Bianca, politics is temporary, faith is eternal, and the images you're showing on your screen are my generation repenting and turning to the Lord out of this tragedy, and I think that's beautiful. You can kill a man, but you cannot kill a movement, and the coward that assassinated my friend a week ago today attempted to shut my generation up, but if he did anything, he woke us up to see the real threat in front of us, that this is no longer just red versus blue, Bianca. This is good versus evil.
Yeah,
that is what we're up against. That's what we're fighting.
We feel it. Yeah, we see it, and we feel it, and we know you'll continue on. Brilyn Hollyhand, thank you so much for joining us today. As I mentioned, one of Charlie's really close inner circle and friends. He's former Navy intelligence officer, Turning Point USA contributor, and so much more. He has really been at the forefront of a lot of these issues. Jack Posobiec, Jack, I was watching your videos that you've been posting. It's just been really hard because I know the pain that people who are so close to Charlie are feeling, and it just is overwhelming now to kind of have to go into this memorial service. I know you've been with Erica. How is the family? How are you helping hold them up in prayer and in light? And you've done a lot these past few days.
Well, thank you. I mean, I don't think I've really done very much at all. It's all about Erica, her strength, her guidance, and her direction in a moment like this. And for those of us that Charlie, gathered, for lack of a better word, and had us there with him, sitting next to him, and in these events and fights and battles, we have to understand that he gathered us for a reason, I think, and maybe we're starting to find out what that reason is now. But it's also the understanding that Charlie's murder cannot have been in vain. We need justice for Charlie Kirk, but also the mission has to continue. And the worst possible way for these criminals, these terrorists, domestic terrorists, to win would be for this mission, which is now Charlie's life's work, to end. Or I'm sitting here in the Turning Point studio right now for these lights to shut off. I don't think that's something that we can allow to happen.